Stafford will get the ball first. The Rams won the toss, deferred, decided to kick off and give the ball to the Lions, Tim, to start this game.
Yeah, and injury and suspensions, obviously, at the running back position will push Kevin Smith into the starting role. Calvin Johnson, as I said, the best in the business, finished last year so strong. Those tight ends give him a lot of versatility. And then the offensive line back together again, and one of very few groups in the NFL that is returning all 5 starters.
Put Smith the back at 2nd and 4. Stafford. Sidearms the first down completion at the 30-yard line to Calvin Johnson. He has 1 catch so far. And now he has 2. First down Lions at the Ram 45.5-yard line. Their second scoring opportunity. Last time they came up empty. End zone. It's caught in front of the end zone at the 2-yard line by Calvin Johnson. It is pushed forward. Craig Dahl from his safety spot pushed him, was right there.
Watch him run an in route in front of the goal line, and just his size is too much for Craig Dahl.
His team. Calvin Johnson. He's got it. Faces 5 defensive backs for the Rams. He has that 1 timeout with 1:55 to go. Calvin Johnson is right there at the 40, a first down. Stafford caught inside the 5 by Calvin Johnson, but no timeout, so they're going to have to run up, spike it, and get the field goal unit out with Hanson. Jeff Fisher said that Schwartz would not call off the dogs. And Fisher said he wouldn't wave the white flag. Oh, but it's over now. Exclamation point from Jim Schwartz and the Lions, who rally to beat Jeff Fisher and the Rams. 27-23 the final.
At the Lions offense.
Matthew Stafford, University of Georgia.
Kevin Smith, Central Florida Knights.
Calvin Johnson, Georgia Tech.
Nate Burleson, Rainier View Elementary.
Tiger Young, Boise State.
Brandon Pettigrew, Oklahoma State.
Jeff Backus, Michigan.
Rob Sims, The Ohio State University.
Dominic Raiola, Nebraska.
Stephen Peterman, LSU Tigers.
Gosh DeSherrillis, Boston College.
Able to win on 3rd down throwing the ball.
3rd down and 6. Johnson comes out of the slot and then makes the catch and avoids a tackle and picks up the first down. So Calvin lined up in the slot to the left to the 44-yard line, first down, the first of the game for the Lions.
And all they're going to do is try and get some catch and runs here out of Calvin Johnson. Little pick right in the middle of the field. Almost had a chance to borrow Bowman to make the play. Matthew Stafford a little 3/4.
2nd and 9. Now Burleson lines up behind Stafford. And the pass is caught, but paying the price right away is Johnson, with Willis, the linebacker, crushing him.
This is not going to be a lot of fun here. Coming across, the plan was to get some catch and runs, get some motion inside. And Patrick Willis is just sitting there waiting on the back door this time. And I don't care how tough Calvin Johnson is.
Pressure coming, pass caught, Johnson inside the San Francisco 40 to the 36-yard line.
Ahmad Brooks is going to try and drop back underneath this thing and get Calvin Johnson. I like this move, though, bringing Calvin Johnson down inside. So now the double coverage isn't quite as effective because you can throw some back shoulders and do some things to take advantage of his big body.
But on balance, the Niners have done an outstanding job on all facets of defense. And they get this one into Johnson again, but he's still short of the first down. 3rd and a couple, Navarro Bowman making the tackle.
And the short passes.
4-man rush. Gets it away quickly. Johnson, but a very short gain. He gets taken down by Terrell Brown.
There's the safety. There's the corner. That's the look he's gotten all night long. But watch how Calvin Johnson lunges with this ball at the end. That doesn't look like much, but instead of like 2nd and 7, you end up with the underneath stuff hasn't looked so good either.
2nd and 6.
There he is.
And Stafford, and finally Johnson gets free, and they will spot the ball at midfield, tackled by Goldson.
One-on-one right here with this matchup. Watch this move. Now they still have safety help over the top. Little out juke, and Carlos Rogers went that way, and Calvin Johnson went the other way. That's what they needed to get something going.
Keep it alive with Johnson breaking a tackle and then taking the ball down to the 9-yard line to set up a 1st and goal. Got away from Whitner.
From the shortstop position. First of all, you get Calvin Johnson coming across here. God, that was a deadly pick across the middle. Should have been called as a penalty. Not picked up there. Watch Stafford here. Pure side armor out the side door. This is a big open field tackle down the field, though, by Culliver to force the Lions to come back and snap it again.
In week 3, and the 49ers are going to go on the road for the next 2 at Minnesota and then at the Jets before they play 3 straight home games against Buffalo, the Giants, and Seattle in October. And there's Schwartz and Harbaugh, and we saw them shake hands before the game. We'll handshake after the game.
The backs and receivers, we just talked about LaShore. You've got Burleson along with, of course, the guy that everybody talks about, Calvin Johnson, and Coach different ways, I know you'll discuss, to get him involved, get him open.
Well, they have to hide him. They can't leave him out there by himself. He'll get doubled the entire game if they do.
Stafford changing the play. Inside again, there's Johnson. Johnson takes a hit, but he holds on. Stafford across the middle, wide open Megatron. And Calvin Johnson down to the 41-yard line of the Titans, and that's a 1st down. 29 yards on the play.
And used him much that you'd use a tight end. They've got to carry him or get somebody back underneath him in the middle. Those safeties can't make that play.
Stafford with time. Complete again to Johnson. Johnson now inside the 10-yard line.
And you can see there's going to be a receiver inside of him here that's going to kind of take that defender away underneath and gives him that.
But okay, back up, ready to throw again. Looking inside, outside that time to Johnson, and Johnson is down to the 2-yard line.
What do you think the halftime talk was on offense?
Let's get number 81 involved.
you think?
2nd and 9, throw inside to Johnson. Now starting to work the hash marks.
Well, they changed up and did some 2-man here, and they tried to get somebody to run with him instead of running through the zone, but it's pretty hard to run with Megatron.
Lions with 3 timeouts left, as coach has just mentioned. Inside, there's Johnson, got back to it on that drive. That's a pickup of 15 and a 1st. We went from a 27-27 game just a few minutes ago to being blown wide open. That complete to Johnson. Out to the numbers. Johnson, and Johnson takes it down inside the 20-yard line. Throw inside, caught, touchdown, Johnson.
The only thing to take it away is a DB right here, and he can't get there. There's a seam right back inside there for the taking. Of course, he raised up and took it easily. Mention of this offense.
LaShore not in now, even though he's gone over the 100-yard mark. Throwing the seam, there's Johnson, and he's got it. He went up and took it. down to the 30-yard line.
Sean's not going to hesitate with this throw. Sean is going to lay that thing up there. There's that hole back behind there, and he does a very nice job of just laying that thing out there, letting Megatron go get the ball, which is what he does best.
Griffin does.
Titans win! Holy buckets! How you starting that one, Ron?
A crazy game. Had to end crazy.
Team is very, very good on offense with weapons galore for Matthew Stafford.
As we said, it starts with Calvin Johnson, the tight end Brandon Pettigrew, a real go-to guy. But Mikel LaShore, they know that the Minnesota Vikings are going to be very passive in their defense, not letting them get the big plays, seeing if they can go the distance.
Third down and 6. And the first down catch is made by Calvin Johnson. We'll see if that's the final play of this opening quarter.
You can see there's always going to be a guy over the top. That's what I'm talking about a passive zone over the top of a Calvin Johnson. So you have to be comfortable with.
Johnson on a crossing pattern, and he is denied first down yardage. What a nice open field tackle on Johnson by Jasper Brinkley. A loss of 1 on the play, second down and 11, and Stafford swings it over the middle, and it's caught by Johnson. And they're saying he was down right at midfield. That's a first down.
Yeah, you're going to see the route coming, just a simple in route, bending inside. It's amazing, even with what you can see is the soft coverage. And now this sidearm, the only way I got to get it there, I'm going to sling it, almost gets tipped. Finding Calvin Johnson, it is amazing to see how consistently they can still get the ball to Calvin.
They scored 5 more than that in the fourth quarter alone in 3 games. Catch made by Calvin Johnson. He's a yard short of a first down.
Calvin Johnson, where else could he go? Throwing underneath and letting him run may not get it done.
Stafford throws, and it's Johnson for a first down to the 40. And again, they're trying to get to the line of scrimmage. We're down to 35 and running.
Well, this is the soft area of this prevent defense right here from the hash to the numbers. The safeties are 25 and 30 yards deep. You've got a nickel or a linebacker standing almost in the middle field like a 3-deep safety. So from the hash to the numbers, Matthew Stafford, those defensive ends of the Minnesota Vikings want to stay upfield and not let him outside, because this is where he buys some time.
And that's going to do it. Emerson Griffin and Jared Allen sacked Stafford to end the game, and for the first time since his same venue on September the 26th in 2010, the Minnesota Vikings have won a game in the NFC North. Congratulations to Leslie Frazier and the Vikings, who are now 3-1.
Lions come in ranked 3rd offensively behind the Patriots and the Giants, over 400 yards per game on offense.
And the reason I think it's important for them to establish some type of running game is you don't want that group of 5 guys right there backpedaling all day long. You know, let's get Michael LaShore involved in this game, and when they have an opportunity to hit single coverage.
Picking up 3 consecutive first downs, 2 straight penalties. Now first down at 20. Stafford with loads of time, and Calvin Johnson goes out, makes the catch at the Eagles 24, a 29-yard pass play.
Handle Calvin Johnson. So we're going to bail a little bit here with Nnamdi Asomugha. He goes inside, lures everybody in. But what you have to understand with Calvin Johnson, he is such a big receiver. It's such a mismatch that Matthew Stafford is very good.
Listen, no options. Biggest run of the day for the Lions. 16 yards from Burleson. Now Stafford fires to Johnson. Only his second catch. And Calvin Johnson is finally wrestled out of bounds by Asomugha and Allen.
One of those formations, it's Riley Reef at the 1 tight end. You got Will Heller at the other, so you're thinking run with the single back, and they come out and take an aggressive shot down the field. They really get their first opportunity one-on-one of the afternoon. Back shoulder throw to Calvin Johnson.
Going back-to-back plays, Lions best run of the day, and then their biggest pass play. Second down and 20 for the Lions. Stafford with time, over the middle, caught by Johnson, inside the 10, the 5, he hurdles, What's the hurdle? Kurt Coleman. And he is out of bounds at the 1.
Think about him as a matchup guy down the field, but here's just a little crossing route, and then you see the strength right there. Great stiff arm right here on Nate Allen.
For Jason Hansen, trailing by 3. Stafford on second down, over the top to Calvin Johnson. Fends off Rogers Cromartie, finally tackled by Coleman, has a first down at the Philadelphia 40. Stafford on second down, under pressure. He throws, and Calvin Johnson, did he come in bounds? No, he did not. Possession and get both feet down.
Wow.
Now remember, in the final 2 minutes, all plays for him. First down and 20. Pass is caught by Calvin Johnson. Lions back in field goal range as Johnson picks up a first down to the Philadelphia 27-yard line.
Seen this all the time where he's going to cross the field. This time he's going to whip it back. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie expecting to see what he's seen all game long, and a nice little wrinkle by Scott Linehan, the offensive coordinator, to change that route.
The oldest player in the NFL from 45 for the win. And Hansen's kick in overtime is good. The Detroit Lions come back from a 10-point deficit late in the 4th to win here in Philadelphia. Giants and Niners next.
And off we go from Chicago. 8 deep. Logan will take a knee. Lions will take it up. Stafford to Johnson. Megatron. First catch. Now one safety comes up close. Only 1 deep. But Stafford throws complete to Calvin Johnson. His second catch. Second and 15. Stafford throws complete. Calvin Johnson takes Tillman to the first down marker and beyond. Team under 500 in the NFC North. Meeting 165 is win 95 in the series for Chicago. Bears 13, Lions 7. These two teams meet on the final Sunday of the regular season, December 30th in Detroit.
All that far off, as you mentioned, but needs the team around him to step up.
Well, he's gotten more and more out of his run game, and Michael LeSure in 2 of the last 3 games. They have lost Nate Burleson, so Titus Young is going to have to step up. The offensive line, nobody's talking about him, Chris, but they have played much better over the last 2 or 3 games. Big challenge for them today against a very talented and fast Seattle defense.
The turnover, back-to-back interceptions for each quarterback. Stafford's throw complete. Inside the 40, it's Calvin Johnson's first catch of the game, down inside the 30 of Seattle. He's had a catch in every game he's played in since coming into the NFL.
Double coverage here. Leroy Hill is going to bounce out and try to get underneath it, and Calvin Johnson exploits it with the in-cutting route. You see Leroy Hill, he gets out there, he tries to undercut it. Calvin cuts it back inside. And Pete Carroll told us yesterday, the last couple of years with them going to the playoffs last year, fans in the city get stimulated.
Stafford's throw on first down to Calvin Johnson, who has a first down across the 35-yard line. Kevin Smith in the backfield. Time for Stafford. And this time Calvin Johnson does hang on. And that's good enough for another third down conversion at a first down.
Cut, 81, Calvin Johnson. You see him coming out of the slot. Good coverage on him with Trufant, but watch the ball location. Down into the inside where only Calvin could get it.
Throws in this game.
Been really impressive today.
Catch is made. The pitch to Golden Tate, who pitches back further, and the ball is knocked away. And the Lions roar back. Detroit with a 4th quarter rally scores the touchdown to win 28-24, so they go to 3-4. The Seahawks record to 4-4.
Here out of Oklahoma. will start off with a nice pickup. Mikel LaShore, he is now the man officially with Javid Best gone for the season. Titus Young, of course, everybody remembers him now just from last week, the touchdown catch with 20 seconds left against the Seahawks.
His route running reminds me of Isaac Bruce. He's that lean, skinny.
Bottom line, 1st and 10 at the 22, play action. An in route, and it's complete. That's Johnson, and Johnson will be about 3 yards shy of the first. Technically, they'll call a 7-yard gain.
Single coverage on him and rolled the safety over the top, and the corner really has to go with him here. He can't engage him.
Is reporting eligible on the play.
71 reports here. He's the tackle, but he has to engage him and foul or trail him in there. He let him away there.
That should be 3rd and 7. Quick turn route, and it's caught for a first down. Nicely done. Good timing. And he's got Megatron for the first. That's a pickup of 10.
Tried to show pressure here with the backers up in the gap. Safety comes back outside. They're still trying to trap him. The corner still needs to be tighter on that. And I know
in second place in the North at 5-3. The Bears 6-1 on top. The heater inside. It's complete. Megatron's got it, and he's inside the 40-yard line. Knee or no knee, that is the Calvin Johnson that Lions fans have come to know and love.
Well, what happened is they snuck in behind everybody. If we can freeze that right there, you can see that big window in the middle. The linebacker came down and grabbed the receiver, which creates that big cushion. That was a 2-deep coverage, and that's the hole. That's why you have
no score here, but the Lions struggling with bad field position to start with. They are threatening, and there's a nice throw, and I believe a catch at the 20-yard line, and a healthy dose gets in. Movement, ball is snapped, not sure if Stafford was ready, but he's got Johnson. Johnson's ready, and he loses the ball. Was he in? No, they mark him down at the 1-yard line. The flag goes down. That's for back at the line of scrimmage, but if it holds up, that'll be 38 yards.
That's going to get
71 is reporting eligible on the play.
Boy, Derek Cox just can't hold up with Johnson.
Well, even with safety taken down and happy to run the football with a 14-point lead.
The long turn route outside is there. Well, you see the arm strength. Once again, Calvin Johnson working on Cox.
The corner on a big island out here. You can see him. This action holds that safety right there, and he can't get out and help. And, well, I tell you, you get a corner off at 8 yards, Calvin Johnson, like we said earlier, I think you made the comment, Ron, you might as well not put anybody out there at all.
With the help of 3 rushing touchdowns by Mikel LaShore. And what do? They don't put their foot on the brake, and Mike Martz, I know you like that. They go right back to the guy who was questionable coming into the game, but yet has played very well.
I hope he's playing on 2 legs. You know, because if he's playing on 1 leg, you can see how far off the corner. He's 8 yards off him. And, boy, if you're going to do that, you better get help underneath it. You line up with a corner off on him, he'll complete every pass.
7. Yuck it up a little bit.
It is such a great feeling to win on the road.
And the Jaguars will drop to 1-7.
Up to the left. And on 1st and 10, Stafford's pass and a good catch is A.J. Jefferson defending against him. First down for Stafford. Good protection here. And the pass is caught by Johnson. And now Joy Bell is in the backfield. And this pass will be caught on the outside by Calvin Johnson, who's covered immediately by Josh Robinson. First down from the 19 for the Lions, Matthew Stafford. They fake it end around, and the pass is caught by Calvin Johnson. And Johnson,
and when you need him,
he's caught 5. Going in the air again. Stafford has plenty of time and taking a shot downfield, and the catch is made by Calvin Johnson. Stafford was looking deep. Now he's just looking, and he completes it to Calvin Johnson inside the 30-yard line. And throwing. Joy Bell is in the game. They fake a handoff to him, and this pass is caught by Calvin Johnson, and the flag is down. Johnson makes the catch inside the 5, and a penalty. First in came for Stafford, and the slant to Calvin Johnson, and Terry Bradshaw in the pregame show. 2nd down and 10. Pressure coming in. Stafford on the run, and he completes it to Calvin Johnson to the 11-yard line, where Smith makes the tackle, and Calvin Johnson, who has 11 catches, tying his career high, looking to break it. And here's the pass, and he does break it to the 5, and Calvin Johnson goes over for the touchdown. Gets the ball over the Vikings, who had dropped a couple. Every team has their slumps, but the Minnesota Vikings will go to 6-4. And the Lions will drop to 4-5.
Passing offense in the NFL. Off we go. And Stafford, as Stafford rolls to his right, sets up a long one. Looking for Johnson. Pass is caught. 4 men on the rush. Lions block it. Pass is caught. Stafford completes. Johnson down to the 11. Pass is caught for the touchdown. Calvin Johnson. Burnett, he's given the signals to the outside, but watch where this ball is thrown to Calvin Johnson, and Morgan Burnett is last snap barring a defensive penalty, and it's underneath Calvin Johnson. And he laterals right into the arms of Jerron McMillan, and this game is over. The Green Bay Packers win it 24-20. They've won 5 straight. They've won 21 of the last 24 against the Lions.
Arm, he considers it one of the top 5 arms in pro football. His line has a change. Jeff Backus finally missing a game for the first time since the 7th grade. Riley Reef will step in for him, the first rounder out of Iowa. And Calvin Johnson coming off another big game against the Packers. 5 catches, 143 yards.
Inside Calvin Johnson.
He might be excited about playing on Thanksgiving, but they've lost the last 8 years on Turkey Day. 2nd and 9, and down the field, a leaping attempt for the catch, and it's made by Calvin Johnson. For 20. Did he catch it cleanly?
Goes inside. The first look looks pretty good. I thought he had possession, and then it's clean. The football does hit the ground. That would have to be challenged by Gary Kubiak.
And they still talk about him all the time about how much he's missed. 2nd down and 7. As Stafford pass on target for Calvin Johnson. Who the last time these teams...
The quarterback, if I know I'm not, I start looking for the knockdown.
1st and 10. Stafford looking for the long ball. He's got it. Back to Calvin again. Right over Allen Ball. DB steps up today and takes on one of the best in the game.
Well, he played under Wade Phillips in Dallas, so he knows his defensive well. He has the size to compete against Calvin Johnson in those man-to-man coverage type of plays. And how about, when you talk about Calvin Johnson, what did Matt Stafford say?
It's another conversion to the NFL's receiving yardage leader. Another 12 yards. He's had a 35-yard catch on this drive as well.
Here comes the blitz. Well, I mean, Kevin Smith just stones it cold. And when you got a blitz on, you got to be a little careful to the outside. Allen Ball gives just a little room. And Matthew Stafford, am I right or wrong about that throwing arm?
Over 200 for 20 straight games. He's got a 1st and 10. He's going to fling it to the end zone, and the ball is caught. What a catch! Calvin Johnson comes down with it. Right over Allen Ball for 22 yards and a touchdown.
The big guy. On the outside, again, it doesn't look like there's going to be anything there, but when in doubt, Matthew Stafford's, why not give number 81 a chance? How many times, Jim, in the last 2 years have you seen highlights where it's just Calvin Johnson double covered where he jumps up and makes the play? And when you see it,
which they gave up again a ton last week to Chad Henne, 3rd and 2. As Stafford has another 1st down and another conversion. Who else but Calvin Johnson?
coverage. Calvin Johnson in the slot, top of the screen. Kareem Jackson on him, and the windows, they're so small.
Flings it. Johnson plants the feet. Was looking to spin away from Jackson, but Jackson got him by the ankles. Stafford has the time and able to swing it over to Calvin Johnson. He races out of bounds, pushed out by Daniel Manning, but it's a good gainer of 8.
They're running the game, they're running the pick, and they get a lineman dead free. That time Earl Mitchell's, when it's so demanding as it is.
I think it's been exciting.
It has.
For the win. Graham. This time, look out. It is good, and just barely, but it's a winner for Houston.
Take a look at the starting offense for Detroit. Jeff Backus is back. His 186-game starting streak ended on Thanksgiving because of a hamstring injury. He lines up at that left tackle spot as he has now for 12 years. Backs and receivers, Johnson, you alluded to it. Jerry Rice's NFL single-season record for yards. First and 10 from the 20 for Detroit. Stafford to throw it on first down. And he gets Calvin Johnson involved right away. Johnson is brought down by Cassius Vaughn. Johnson is the human mismatch. Davis, they lost Gerard Powers to a toe injury. Shotgun, 2nd and 9. That sidearm delivery to Calvin Johnson. Antoine Bethea with a hit, and that brings up Arfouts Focus, the 10-year veteran. 3rd and 2. From the gun. Stafford. Calvin Johnson, a huge target, and that's what you were talking about earlier, Dan, in our conversation with Stafford immediately.
Well, his size, look how he just shoves Vaughn out of the way. That's pure strength. You got a double. The only place Scheffler could make the catch.
39-yard pass play. They lost 3 on the running play. The quick strike, Calvin Johnson. And he's hit at the 25-yard line. Second quarter, a 10-7 lead on Indianapolis. Iron Eagle, Dan Fouts, and the rest of our CBS crew. Quick slant. And the quick hitter to Calvin Johnson. He's brought down at the 40-yard line, a 5-yard pickup. Inside the Indy 40. Stafford pulls the trigger. Johnson, one-handed stab. Calvin Johnson.
Call him Megatron for nothing. All he needs is one hand. How about sticking that right one out? Pins it against his body, gets down with both feet. Ball does not move. 32 yards inside the 10. How many times? I'll watch that highlight forever.
It's hard to get into intent, but you have to believe he knew Schaub was in that general vicinity. Just didn't know what body part he was aiming towards. But when he's between those white lines, he said he's got a different mindset. He's got 10 guys on his side. He wants to make sure the QB has a miserable day. Calvin Johnson with a flag thrown. Brought down to the 49-yard line. Vontae Davis again drawing the coverage. 8-yard pickup for Stafford to Johnson. That's not even fair to yourself in your self-deprecating style. Stafford to Calvin Johnson. Play clock down to 2. Stafford from the gun. He hits Johnson for a first down. Into Colts territory. Cassius Vaughn, 39 here in the 3rd quarter. 2:34 to go. 3rd and 7. Stafford pulls the trigger and connects with Calvin Johnson. First down across the 45 into Indy territory.
But it might not be a bad idea on 3rd down. You can see the power that he has as he just pushes Vaughn back. Timing is perfect with Stafford. Another catch for Megatron. Vontae Davis is playing too.
3rd and 12. Stafford looking in that direction. Now looks to the other side. Stafford downfield throw. Dug out by Johnson. Touchdown Detroit. Spectacular.
Here as Stafford buys time, Johnson just keeps going. Stafford looks up, and look at this laser shot by Stafford. That ball didn't get more than 10 feet off the ground, it seemed like. And this is, look at that stride as he pulls away from Vontae Davis, picks up the ball, goes down low, and rolls over and scores. If there's a better receiver in the NFL playing right now, I'd like to know who it is, because I think I know it's number 81.
For Detroit. Look at the time of possession in favor of the Lions. BB from Stafford to Calvin Johnson, and that is a new career high in catches in a single game for Calvin Johnson. 13.
A primary.
Here we go. Final seconds. Luck steps. Luck, a little flip. Donnie Avery, he's in. Touchdown. Indianapolis has done it. Andrew Luck has shocked the Lions.
Matthew Stafford, University of Georgia.
Michael LaShore, Champaign-Urbana. Calvin Johnson, Georgia Tech. Chris Sturm, Georgia. Brandon Pettigrew, Oklahoma State.
Tony Scheffler, Western Michigan University. Jeff Backus, Michigan.
Rob Sims, The Ohio State University.
Dominic Raiola, Nebraska.
Stephen Peterman, LSU Tigers.
Gosh DeSherrillich, Boston College.
Down, and you might expect one here as well. Kevin Smith comes into the backfield to flank Stafford, who's protected well and then throws for a first down as the catch is made by Calvin Johnson at 6'5" and 236.
Well, I think this guy right here is as good a football player as there is in the National Football League, and it's going to get some consideration this year for the MVP vote because he is on pace right now. You talked about it, but to pass Jerry Rice.
Well, they have 18 minutes to 5. And this is a pass caught by Johnson up at the 34-yard line. So Johnson, who caught a pass on the game's first series.
You're going to end up with a flat route and an in route, which means that you're going to have this open space. And it's really what you have to do. If you have a cornerback who's making it tough on you to get an outside release, you have to hit a few of these to set him up.
And Stafford throws, and they are able to convert to Calvin Johnson. So a first down.
And here's the battle we've been watching all night long, and finally Calvin Johnson going to get the better of it. See how well he comes back to the football, really drives back. Otherwise Williams would have had a chance to knock that one out.
3rd and 7. And the pass, and that is Johnson. He pays the price, but he signals a first down. He also will flag at the 50-yard line. And play clock all the way down. And a low throw, and Johnson goes down to get it at the 28-yard line. That's going to make it 3rd down on the 2nd and 17. Johnson. He'll get stopped at the 46-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 6 here at Lambeau Field. Final minute, 3rd quarter. Johnson makes the catch. Tackled by Morgan Burnett. Gain of about 6. To be a 4th down situation, which they well could. First things first, though, on 3rd and 10. And that pass will be caught, so that'll render that move by Calvin Johnson, who pays the price, who gets banged out of bounds at the 43-yard line. First down, Detroit.
Sort of two-man coverage right out here, and this is just a heck of a throw by Matthew Stafford. Had to kind of get it up over the top and kept the drive alive. I'll tell you, they have done some job, the Packers have, on taking Calvin.
It was a 4-yard gain. Makes it 2nd down and 11. And the pass is caught. Johnson makes the catch, and Johnson bangs his way inside the 45-yard line for a Lion first down. Down to 3 minutes left in regulation. Major flourish to set the record that still stands. 2nd down and 10. And that pass is caught by a sliding Johnson. Picked up and running by Daniels for a touchdown, and kneel down will end it here. The Green Bay Packers have now won 7 of their last 8. The Lions have lost 5 in a row. The Lions still haven't won in Wisconsin in forever. And Green Bay will go to Chicago next week with a chance to clinch the division if they can beat the Bears at Soldier Field.
To get a first down, they got to start feeding Tony Scheffler. Pass is caught by Calvin Johnson.
His first catch of
receptions.
2nd and 3. Time for Stafford. Pass is caught by Johnson. First down into Cardinal territory. Stafford, top of your screen.
This is where they got him in the game last week. Look for a little pivot route by Logan.
End zone. Pass is caught by Calvin Johnson. Stafford to throw for Calvin Johnson. His 100th catch of the season.
But I just don't know how you
issues. They ironed him out, but a miscue on that special teams block that didn't give Logan a chance. And let's take a look at the play as Calvin Johnson makes the pass is caught. That's Calvin Johnson who fights for a first down across the 30-yard line. 3rd and 1. So throw. Stafford backpedaling. A little behind, but Calvin Johnson has it. All the way down to the 21-yard line.
Stafford's got a 30 rating so far in this game. They are destroying him with hits.
Patrick Peterson back in the secondary. The throw in the neighborhood of Calvin Johnson, who hangs on and goes out of bounds quick.
No.
Stafford's throw is caught again by Johnson. The 41-yard line. On 2nd down 1. Pass is caught. Calvin Johnson with his 10th. Joyke Bell carries. Will put an end to the misery. A 9-game losing streak after they started the season 4-0. And rookie Ryan Lindley worked the controls. The final here in Arizona. The Cardinals 38. Calvin Johnson and the Lions 10.
Bosher is set, and off we go with week 16 of the NFL season here from Detroit. And the Lions will take over at their own 20-yard line. In the lineup as an extra lineman. First down for his toss. It's Johnson on the edge. Gets about 3 yards before Asante Samuel brings it down in the last drive. And they're very rare. 7% run team on 3rd down. Here they throw. Here goes Calvin Johnson. Megatron past midfield into the secondary to the 33-yard line. We'll watch his yards all night. Looks like 49.
Man-to-man coverage on a little crisscross. You see Scheffler run interference, and it forces number 23 Robinson to bubble slightly. A great throw by Stafford. It never changed Megatron's running mechanics. Got to be real careful playing man-to-man.
Hard count by Stafford. Free play. Matthews says pump and go get it, Calvin. And Calvin got it at the 32-yard line. System intelligence there. Gain of 18.
Like I've never seen before. He's falling backwards. 3-quarter delivery, and the ball's on the money. That's a beautiful sight. Watching Calvin Johnson go to work. Too deep. They rotate to Calvin. He keeps the play alive and
He's 8th in a row. Stafford has time. Throwing it downfield, and there is Calvin inbound. Gain of 20. He has 90 on the meter now.
And Johnson runs a corner route right in behind him, and the ball is thrown on the money.
You can see his joy and passion for the game as he's walking around the field there. Stafford with the throw, caught by Calvin Johnson. Over 100 yards is Johnson to the 44-yard line. So Elstone alone. Timeout.
Great job on just a bend in, going up and getting it. Nice timing, good anticipation.
The ability to line up and pound these 3rd and 2s out. The quick throws on time and on target to Megatron.
We asked Calvin Johnson, Mike, what's your favorite route? You can clearly run any pattern in the book. It's a slant route. What a great job with his inside arm, clubbing Robinson off of his body to create separation. How'd you like to have that wingspan to throw to? Jerry Rice, a safety man.
It's a 3-man rush. There is Johnson over the middle. Catch and run. Calvin Johnson takes it for the first down to the 41-yard line. And getting ever closer. That's a gain of 26. He's within 25.
Johnson with Logan outside of him. Pushes it up to 12 to 14. Breaks it inside. Ball's thrown a foot in front of Calvin's numbers. And when he catches the ball in a position to run with it,
the 38-yard line. Stafford loading up. Fort Johnson caught it at the 18-yard line. It's a gain of 20 yards.
I think Mike Nolan's trying to double him, doing everything he can. Underneath the Calvin, you see Chris Holt, number 24. You see Samuel, number 22. They've got him high, they've got him low, and the ball is thrown exactly where Calvin wants it.
Officially away from the accomplishment, especially because of the lack of personnel around. 4 yards away is Johnson. Stafford throws. There it is! Megatron into the record books. The single-season all-time NFL receiving yardage record.
You know, it's 31-16 Atlanta. Look at this crowd. Mike, this place is jammed. They're staying to see their beloved Megatron break this record. This is emotional to me to see this type of support. 5 seasons. That's a phenomenal accomplishment. Playoffs are the playoffs. Anything goes. It's single elimination, but I think the Atlanta Falcons are primed to get it done this year.
The numbers, but the ones that matter the most will be 4-11 and 7 straight losses. Will Heller the catch with 5 seconds left, and I don't think they have time to down it. It's done. Johnson has the record, but the Falcons have the best record in the NFC. And the NFC road to the Super Bowl will go through the Georgia Dome.
It has been a disappointing season for the Detroit Lions, and this offensive line has done a heck of a job, because really it's been just the passing game, and that puts a lot of pressure on these guys when you're backpedaling all afternoon long. Calvin Johnson, I don't know what else you can say that hasn't already been said. It's just unbelievable what he's been able to do this season, and also he's really been the only threat on the offensive side of the ball, and he's still put up those great numbers.
Record last Saturday against Atlanta. And that is catch number 1 today for Megatron in Bears territory. 18 yards.
Charles Tillman is going to have him the majority of the afternoon. And it was funny how he talked to us. He said, one of the things I have to do is I can't let Calvin get beyond me. He is so long with his arms and his reach, his stride, that once he gets on top of you, you've really kind of lost the battle.
34 yards in their fire meeting. Stafford on 3rd down and 5. Moving to his right. Able to get rid of it. He was under pressure, chased by Julius Peppers. And Johnson able to make the catch.
Like when after the catch, watch Stafford here scrambling out. Right after the catch, watch how fast he turns, knows where that first down marker is, and gets right across it.
Well, he's had some big drops today.
Stafford fires on 1st down. It's Johnson. His 3rd reception. It's a 1st down, a gain of 18.
He never wants to allow Calvin Johnson to get beyond him, even with help over the top, because he's so long. A little slip there coming out of the break.
2nd down and 9. As Stafford throws to a wide open Johnson. It's another Lions 1st down at the Chicago 10-yard line. 24-yard pass play.
To be one-on-one in coverage, but today it looks like Calvin Johnson's looking for the opportunities to catch zone because Charles Tillman has played so well against him. That's a well-thrown ball by Matthew Stafford.
Detroit.
Squeeze!
Stafford to Johnson. Calvin Johnson out to the 25-yard line for a gain of 7. Now has 72 yards today. 36 shy of 2,000. Turn the ball over. The Lions turn the ball over 4 times as Cutler takes one final knee. Bears remain alive. And will now take out their Green Bay Packers pom-poms.
No, cheer against the Minnesota Vikings. You can't cheer for the Packers.
So the Chicago Bears hang on, defeat the Detroit Lions by the score of 26-24. The Lions' disappointing season comes to an end with their 8th consecutive loss.